Joining us now is the CEO of AT&T Communications, John Donovan. I don't know what that title means, but since we're in the communications business at AT&T, I'm guessing John is my boss, and John joins us now. Pittsburgh native, Notre Dame background, and joining us here for the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. If I said Pittsburgh could win, now you're talking Steelers here, John?
Whatever you like.
Okay. If the Steelers could win another Super Bowl or Notre Dame another national title.
I think Steelers another Super Bowl. And the reason for that is we need to get back on top. Super Bowl count. We have to go get another one.
How many Super Bowls have you gone to?
How many have I gone to? Probably 10, something in that range.
Have you gone to all the Steeler ones?
Yeah.
Steelers make you cry?
Never.
Never?
Never.
Notre Dame make you cry?
Yeah.
When?
Fight song.
Oh, that'll do it.
Because it brings back all the memories. You know, they flood back all at once.
Were you there when Joe Montana was there?
I was a freshman when he was a senior.
Okay.
And interestingly, that was, I guess it was 1979. I was there with Bob Golick, Chris Haynes, and Joe Montana on draft day listening to the calls coming in. They didn't have the same process they do now. The phone would ring and say, "You ready? We're going to take you the next round," and then they didn't. It was one of the most fascinating things that I've ever done in my life is to watch. You remember Joe Montana slid.
Third round?
Yeah, third round.
Yeah.
And so to watch the emotion of him going through that. So, but I also had to wake up Bob Golick at 7:30 in the morning to get him to swim class, and we were paired up. And you have to take swimming class to get out of Notre Dame.
Wait, and you got to take swimming?
Yeah, we had to back then. I'm not a young guy, Dan.
I know, but why swimming?
I don't know. Well, you had to take PE for a couple of semesters, and one of the things was required was swimming. I guess they didn't want any of us to drown in the lake. And so Bob was a senior, had put it off. And so I was his neighbor, and I was a freshman, and he weighed, at that time, big for a linebacker, 265 pounds. And he would take me there, and, you're swimming, and they say, okay, now try to drown the other person. and he would stuff me, literally, it would be a split instant, and my head would go from above the water to pressed against the bottom of the pool. Because he didn't float. I mean, he sank. Yeah, it was fun. You mentioned, though, on the working relationship. You had a great week last week, and so I was going to surprise you with the Employee of the Month.
Oh, well, there you go. AT&T, and it says the best Employee of the Month, Dan Patrick, signed by John Donovan, and it's February 8th, 2019.
When I'm looking at it, it looks like we spelled your name wrong. I'm sorry, it says Dean Patrick.
But that's okay. But it's close.
Close enough.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Yeah, no. Just cross it out.
Okay. What do I get, with this? Parking spot?
Another year.
Another year doing that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll take that. Dean Patrick. Tom Brady doesn't have Employee of the Month with the Patriots.
My guess is that he'll be eligible this month.
No, he's never won Employee of the Week with the Patriots. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it would take then.
After 6 Super Bowls?
Yeah.
Who's the better quarterback, Bradshaw or Brady?
They're just so different. What I loved about Bradshaw is he's the anti-Brady. He was the gunslinger. When the going got tough, in the huddle, he'd just say, run down the field, I'll get it to you. Yeah. And he would throw it as hard as he could. And you got to love that, when you're winning on defense with the play of defense and you see that. But you can't ever not say that Tom Brady was 6 Super Bowls.
There's a couple of things I want to ask you about. First of all, when you get involved, AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, what is the goal of the title sponsor?
Well, you really have to pull together a bunch of things that are can be a little tricky, and we take it for granted. The first thing is you have to stay true to the purpose of the tournament, which is about the community. And so you can't get so caught up in the celebrity and the shows and the television and the winner and the trophy and the purse. You have to all the way go back. The minute this tournament tears down, our folks start thinking about next year. Is the money being applied well? Is it getting to the right people in the community? You have to pull that together. The second dimension is you really have to make sure the show itself is good. You've got to recruit and have folks calling the players, getting them out here, reminding them what it's there for. And then for us, it's one of our big events where we bring a lot of customers in. So we try to entertain our customers and make it a showpiece for the business itself. And pulling all those off can be tricky. Also,
we're talking to John Donovan, the CEO of AT&T Communications. The future of TV sports, we saw the match, made for TV events.
Yep.
So Tiger versus Phil. How much more are we going to see, do you think, in the next couple of years?
I think it's just the tip of the iceberg of, when you start to think about how all that came together. It was on traditional cable. It was on Bleacher Report. They started to show the odds. So we really went out trying to try something brand new that hadn't been done before, and felt like there'd be a good market for that. And so it wasn't perfect this year. We didn't get everything exactly right, but it was, I think, something we're going to try to do again, repeat, and see if we can't find something there.
What about gambling involved in it? Now, the two players, Phil and Tiger, were gambling a little bit. Like, we're heading towards that, but when is that happening, do you think?
Well, I think that we start the process with a removal of some of the legal prohibition, and then everybody says, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And I think there's been a lot of hyperbole with sports owners saying that's going to change everything, and it's going to significantly and materially change the value of franchises. And it might over time, but in the short run, it's sort of trying to make social dimensions where you have small wagers amongst friends, and it causes you to watch parts of the game and notice things that maybe the purist would watch. Is it going to make this foul shot? And you start to think about, if I'm going to bet on whether you can make a putt here, I'm going to have to know a lot of things about you, but I'm also going to have to know a lot of things about the hole. And is this the kind of thing, how do you deal with stress? And so I think the acuity with which people are going to have to do things in the future. So personally, I don't think it's going to be, about creating a whole new genre of gamblers.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a social event and a little bit of trash talking amongst friends, and small betting at high velocity.
But also being in the communications business at AT&T and everything's on your phone, where are we headed with sports coverage, live events?
Well, I think that we're moving to where a traditional view of anything is lost, and it's being replaced with, I need an experience. Like, I need an experience, and it doesn't just involve what's going on, the event itself. I need a whole bunch of things around it, whether that's connections to friends, whether it's social, whether it's the gambling dimension, whether it's the apps, the data. So we're really trying to tailor experiences, and I think that the tailored experiences are challenging us to just get better at what we do.
Final question. You could play a round of golf at Pebble.
Uh-huh.
Any current or former professional athlete?
Joe Green.
Mean Joe Green?
Yeah. Because
can he play golf?
Doesn't matter. Yeah, when you look, there, like a lot of the ex-Steelers, their stories are out there. And, him throwing the ball in the stands, how he showed up and intolerance for losing. I just want to hear his story. And I think that would be a really good thing. Because when I grew up, it was right at that time and that team. And so I have this view of holding those folks up on a pedestal. So last week at the Super Bowl, I had a chance to meet Mel Blount.
He looks like he could still play, John.
Yeah, but can you imagine? He was 6'4" and he's playing defensive back.
Back when everybody was 5'11".
Right. And I remember.
Did he have his cowboy hat on?
Yes.
He always got that black cowboy hat on.
we were talking about some of his matchups, and I told him I met one of the all-star receivers from his time frame, and the guy came up and he was very proud of his accomplishments. And I said to him, you might have done really well in your career, and you did, but you should feel great. But you never caught one pass on Mel Blount. And he said, "You're right. That was a bad matchup for me."
Oh, it was a bad matchup for a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for your support with the show. Thank you for the Employee of the Month. Even though it's misspelled, it doesn't matter because I know it came from your heart.
Yeah, no, it sure did.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. Can I just say quickly though that this tournament raised almost $13 million last year, and kind of closing on where you start, it really is a great honor for us to come out here and serve the community the way we do.
Well, it shows because it's a first-class run tournament. And I tell these guys about the magic of Pebble because they'd never been here. And then they got here a couple of years ago, and they go, we get it.
And we're proud to have you on the team. You're a great guy, good human being.
Thank you.
And you do great work.
Thank you, John. That's make sure we record that, so I'm going to play that back to John during my next contract. That's John Donovan, the CEO of AT&T Communications.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.